Hello everyone, welcome to another Love Island Aftermath video. Now, those of you who don't know, DEJON and Meg were on Capital Radio doing an interview today. I don't think it was actually recorded today, but they've been on there and I was looking forward to it. I thought finally we're going to have a sit down with them after this book has come out and we can hear a few bits and pieces about their opinion on the book, on how they've been treated since they left the villa and all that kind of stuff. Rather disappointingly, what we got was about 3 or 4 minutes of an interview, which one of the presenters said afterwards was quite long and was almost half an hour. But they only played us like 4 or 5 minutes, which was really disappointing. So it does delve a little bit into stuff, but not in the detail I was hoping for. But I'm going to be fair because I know you all think, or a lot of you think, I really don't like DEJON and Meg. And, you know, everything I put up here is going to be against them. But let's let them speak so that you don't think that. Firstly, here's their opinion on the editing of the show, which they say was perhaps a little bit unfair without actually saying that outright because they probably want to stay friendly with the producers.
When you watch it, does it feel like what it was like in those moments?
No,
not at all, really. I feel like when we watch the clips back, it's a whole different kind of show to what's actually happening in real life. In the sense of they might just show a conversation where you feel like it's an argument or that it's bits of a conversation, and then 20 minutes later you have another conversation with someone, you make up, you're like, oh, yeah, I apologise, how I spoke was wrong. The other person say, yeah, I see it from your point of view, but that's never shown in the show kind of thing. So it's like, when you watch it back, I feel like from the outside view, there's people who might think that people have problems with other people when we literally get along with everybody and we have no problem with anyone.
yeah, they definitely show like the entertainment part of it. Like any bit of the conversation, you'll have a whole hour, 30 minutes conversation. They'll say the 2-minute bit that everyone wants to hear. So they obviously got the best entertainment of it.
Entertainment value.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I think we all know that's how Love Island is put together, because let's be honest, if they did show us like an hour conversation between the islanders and literally nothing interesting or dramatic happened, it would be incredibly boring television. So I'm not surprised to hear they whittled down a 2-hour conversation into a 2-minute argument. Obviously, the thing about reality TV, as I've said before, is that it's not reality TV, it's manipulated reality TV. If you allow people to edit, they're going to edit to make an entertaining show. And if the show is not entertaining, then people will simply stop watching, and then the show gets cancelled, and there is no more show. So I do think it's a bit of a difficult bridge to cross, that one. I'm not quite sure the best way to cross it in terms of Love Island, and particularly when people come out and say, I didn't get a good edit. I'm not quite sure what we can do about that, apart from release all the footage of that particular islander in every situation, and allow the public to decide for themselves. And they'd never do that, because it would be probably 20, 30, 60 hours of footage, and it would be very difficult for everyone to watch, and also probably have copyright issues, rights issues, and, you know, personal protection issues, and all that kind of stuff. So while I appreciate what they're saying, I'm like, yeah, I get it, but at least the series was entertaining. We moved on from that to talking about the families, and what the families thought, and what they thought about the way the families were portrayed in that Meet the Family episode. And it's interesting what they say here, because Meg seems to imply the families came in having only seen her and DEJON together for 45 minutes every day in an episode. But the problem is the families came in having known Meg and DEJON much longer than Meg and DEJON have known each other. You get that, right? Meg's family have known her since she was baby Meg. DEJON's family have known him since he was baby DEJON. So they do know you better than you're going to know each other. So that's why they were saying those things, because they know you, they see more of you, they spent more time with you. So I'm not really sure Meg is entirely fair here, but she certainly does imply that they're getting on a bit better now, and that DEJON has met her family, but apparently Meg has yet to meet DEJON's family. That's what one of the presenters said after this.
And we wanted to know what they thought about their family's thoughts on when they came in.
Obviously, we've been on a TV show and they've only seen us for 45 minutes of a day, like Dee said. So what they see is not, it is part of us, but it's not at the same time. Like, people need to see us for us. And I think our closest people will see that on the outside world. So even bringing Dee back to my family, I mean, he had no choice. I was like, yeah, the throwing a home party, you're coming. And he like felt so relieved after he had done that. And he's received so much like comments from my family saying, oh my God, like you two are amazing, like you're such a good couple and stuff. Whereas on TV, a lot of it they've shown us like back and forth and stuff like that.
They also quizzed Meg about the villa divide between the girls, and this is Meg's take on it. Now, I don't think this is entirely 100% accurate, because she says, oh, when we got to the dressing room, everything was left behind and we were all friends. And I'm like, well, some of the stuff actually happened in the dressing room, as I recall, so I'm not quite sure about that. But she says, as far as she's concerned, there is no divide, and she's curious to see how they're all going to get on at the reunion, which takes place tonight. And of course, this is not an ITV reunion. This is a reunion they're having somewhere, we don't know where, and I guess they're going to stream it from their phones. So it could be interesting to watch, or it could be a total dud if the streaming doesn't work properly, or they're just in a really loud nightclub and we can't hear what they're saying. So I don't know how that's going to work. But this is what Meg had to say anyway.
Shakira, Tony and Yasmin against Meg, Helena, Megan, Emma, Angel, and some other people as well. Meg shared her take on what kind of really went down, and she maybe dropped a little hint about what we can expect tonight.
I mean, I've spoken to everyone. Like, I think in that environment in the villa, it's totally different. Like, the girls were always going to argue. It, like, when you watch it back, some clips, I'm like, oh my God, that is really bad. And, like, I'll hold my hands up and say that. And I think because we were all so close at the same time, but everything was left outside the dressing room. So as soon as we got in that dressing room, we was all like together again, all laughing, joking. Like I FaceTimed Yaz the other day about her cat because she was at home upset about it. So I've spoken to Yaz, I've messaged Tony and Shakira, like we've spoke, like we all speak, and like we've got the reunion coming up, so we'll all speak there and have a drink and stuff. So now we're on the outside, we're not around each other 24 hours of a day. So I mean, obviously I'm very close to Helena, like Ange, Megan, Emily, Lauren, Lucy, like every one of the girls I'm so close to. Like I've even spoke to Andrada, Melisha,
so you're on
Emma.
TikTok.
Yeah, I mean these are like, we need to get you in the TikTok. So I'm making TikToks. I'm like, I'm not really a TikToker, but I'll do it. So like it's like we were on an entertainment TV show, so things were very heated in there, but it's nothing that wasn't sorted out straight away. So yeah, well, we've kept in touch with everyone, to be honest, so we'll be excited on the reunion on Thursday.
And then finally, we did get a clip in which the interviewer asks him about surviving DEJON. And again, really brief response that is, you can tell, clearly edited down, because it's only a 40-second clip. So this is what he had to say when he was asked about the book.
Yeah, I definitely feel the support on your DMs or comments on your photos. You get a lot of support and people reaching out. We can't go through everybody. Even though we do see it, we see a lot of it. When we see people in public is a nice way just to say thank you for your support.
The Surviving DEJON thing, that's a book that's been written by somebody in your extended family. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of untruths and a lot of unfair stories, which I am challenging at the moment. The most important thing is that Meg knows who I am, my family know who I am, my friends know who I am. So even shout out to Andrada and Billikis, because when we saw them, when we come out of the villa, they was basically saying like, DEJON, there's so much things being said about you. We know that's not you. We know that's not how you are as a person. And so yeah, shout out to them too, because they didn't need to do that. And yeah, I really appreciated that.
So yes, it has untruths in it, which I'm not quite sure is a word, but we'll use it anyway. Untruths in the book, and he's working on getting the truth out there. And he says that Billikis and Andrada came to his defense. Now, I don't think he means they came to his defense on social media, because I can't find any evidence of that. Maybe you can, and if you can, let me know. But yeah, I thought it was, again, annoyingly brief. I wanted to know more about this. Why couldn't we have heard a bit more about the book, the context, who the people are, who the players are, a bit more about DEJON's background? Do you know what I mean? Because Nia in the book talks about this kind of rather, large family of what seems to be blood relatives and adopted people and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, I wanted to know more about that. I would have loved to hear DEJON talk about that, to give us a bit more context of his family unit on this interview. But all we got was a kind of rebuttal, and that's that. And I really would love some more details. But obviously, it's up to DEJON if he wants to come up with more details. It's up to DEJON if he wants to talk about it more. And he may not want to. He may be hoping the whole thing's just going to disappear. I'd be very surprised if it did. And I think, personally, he should say something to at least get a point of view about these accusations across before, Nia does what she threatens to do, which is to release the receipts. But there we go. That's all they really said, guys. I hope they release a bit more information on this interview. I hope they release a bit more of the clips, because I think out of 30 minutes, I'm sure there are some really interesting topics they touched on that I would love to hear more about, and so would you. And don't you pretend you wouldn't. Anyway, that's it, guys. There's your update. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later for more.